Welcome back to the Lemon Factor. I'm Chad, and today I have a very special video for you, a video that has been long awaited, not just by you, but by myself. This is part 3 of our air intake install, sound clip, and dyno measurement series. So previously we have tested for our baseline the stock 10th generation Honda Accord with a brand new, a clean OEM air filter in order to establish our baseline horsepower and torque numbers. I then installed and dyno tested the PRL panel filter. After that panel filter, I stepped it up to the PRL Stage 1 air intake system. We then went to the Mishimoto Air Intake. And then lastly, we went to the Takeda Air Intake. I took you through the install process for each. We took some sound clips so you can hear how it sounds. If you're looking for an air intake that makes all the right noises, this is a good way of getting an idea of what to expect. And then lastly, took each one of these to the dyno to see how much horsepower and torque they produce and see how it compared to the manufacturer's claims. If you haven't seen the other videos, I'll leave links in the description below. But this video, we are installing, we are doing sound clips, and we are taking it to the dyno, the PRL high volume air intake. And I'm really excited for this one. There's so much hype about the PRL high volume air intake on social media that this is the intake to get, supposedly, that this produces the most gains. And I am anxious to find out if that's true, and I'm sure you are as well, especially if you're looking to purchase an air intake. If it's sound you're after, hopefully these videos will help. If you're looking for the most horsepower and torque out of your air intake, these videos will help guide you in the right direction. If you're interested in finding out how much horsepower, how much torque the PRL high volume air intake produces, then stay tuned. I've already installed the PRL high volume air intake. And the reason why it's installed, and I'm not taking you through the step-by-step process, is the process is very, very similar to both the Takeda and the Mishimoto Air Intake, in which I do take you through step-by-step. If you're looking for more details on the install, then please go take a look at those 2 videos. There is some subtle differences between the install. The biggest difference is the need to disconnect and move over your ECU. And the reason for that is the resonator at the bottom of the air intake box needs to be removed with the PRL air intake. It does make the install a little bit more complicated, a little bit more challenging. Hopefully in the end we find that it's worth it. The reason why I bring this up is although PRL does provide online instructions, which are pretty good, this is the part that is most different from other air intakes. So what do I think of the parts, the quality, the alignment, the fit, the finish, etc.? I think definitely better than the AFE Takeda, but it is also a bit better than the Mishimoto. Everything lined up perfectly. What I really like about the PRL air intake is that everything is fully enclosed. For those of you looking for more sound, that may not be the case. the four-wheel horsepower is a disappointment for me, and I'm sure it's a disappointment for many of you, but I'm really glad we've gone through the series, that now we know how much horsepower not only the PRL high volume air intake produces, but also the AFE Takeda, the Mishimoto, the PRL Stage 1, and the PRL Panel Filter, and how it all compares to a stock Honda Accord. So a couple things I want to point out with the dyno. So we see consistent, small, albeit small gains, consistent gains starting at about 4,000 RPM. So anything under 4,000, there's really not much to be gained or any gains compared to stock. So everything's above 4,000 RPMs. Good thing is it's consistent from 4,000 to redline. Second thing is, if we were to look at our dyno graph for our stock, the lines are rather jagged under 4,000 RPMs, so the power delivery is not as smooth. What we see here with the PRL, it's a lot smoother. We don't see that jaggedness under 4,000 RPM, so the power delivery is much cleaner as compared to stock. The next video, I'm going to give you some further insights and further details of how we've gone through the testing, how I compare, and really what I see as the differences between these three intakes. And I'm also going to introduce you to a way that you personally can impact what we do on this channel. So I'm not stopping here with the air intakes. I'm going to continue reviewing and testing various modifications for the 10th generation Honda Accord, and there's a way that you can influence what we do and how we do that. So stay tuned. If you're not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing and turn on notifications, but I'll give you much more detail in the next video. So thank you very much for joining, and until next time.